My name is Jeremy Walton, and this is my new workflow for 2020. Let's go! Can't get a haircut and really haven't been in the mood to shave. Not sure how long that will last. Well, a lot of things have happened over the past few weeks, but the news will cover all of that. So since I'm going to be spending a lot of time inside, let's talk about that instead. I want to show you a few things that have changed around here. Some you can already see, and how I customize my workflow for 2020 to fit my needs, and hopefully you can do the same. I need space, and lots of it. One goal I had for 2020 was to change my actual workspace. I hate a crowded desktop, so a new desk was necessary. Actually, a sit-stand desk. Sitting all day was getting too uncomfortable, and I'm sure people know about the health benefits of a standing desk, but I still wanted to be able to sit down when I needed to. When paying bills, it's good to be sitting down. I knew exactly what to get. Fully was the way to go. There's plenty of reviews out there if you want to see for yourself. I went with their adjustable frame, and for a few more bucks I chose the alloy color, which looks awesome by the way. I picked the extended range, and for the frame width I went with wide. I told you, I need space. They have a great reputation, and I wasn't disappointed. I will mention they did send me a couple parts that were the wrong color. When I called them up, they literally next day aired the correct pieces. That's how you know they care about their customers. I can forgive mistakes that are handled that way. What I didn't do, and why I got the bigger frame, is I wanted a custom made top no one else had. I'm going to be using this a lot, so spending a few extra bucks for something that's unique and will last a long time is worth it to me. The first thing I had to do was find a place where I could get a slab like this. I went with Angel City Lumber. That's an urban lumber yard that reuses cut down trees in Los Angeles. Instead of trees becoming waste in landfills, they are turned into all kinds of creative ideas. I got to actually pick out the slab I wanted that was sourced in Brentwood. A bunch of great people over there that were extremely helpful. They planed my slab, cut it to size, and it was ready for pickup in about a week. So just a big thank you to Angel City Lumber for helping me out. Then it was time for the finishing steps. I have some friends that own a wood shop, more specifically Olies wood shop, who have a YouTube channel as well. So if you want to see what they're all about, go check out their videos and take a look at their Instagram. They picked up the slab for me, that's what friends are for, and got to work. Oh, and they made a video about it. They sanded it down, filled in the cracks and voids, then put a nice matte finish on it. I just love the way it turned out, and the originality of the slab checks the box for unique. And having a 7-foot by 3-foot workspace is the right amount to make editing much more efficient and enjoyable. Feeling cramped is never part of an enjoyable workspace. I had to give up some furniture to make this fit, but I have no regrets. Okay, so what I actually work on top of is taken care of. But what about the computer? I've been holding off for a while to make any upgrades. I edit with a proxy workflow, so the majority of my editing experience with my older Mac Pro and Premiere is stable and works for me. Then the new 16-inch MacBook Pro hit the market, and it was time to make an upgrade. If you watch my channel, you know I travel a lot, so purchasing a new laptop first was an easy decision. I wanted the ability to edit anytime, anywhere. Then I can use my laptop as part of my desktop setup. For now. Just like the Foley desk, the 16-inch MacBook Pro has a lot of reviews. Like, a lot. If you watched any of them, I'll sum them all up. And done. This really isn't about what computer I'm using, besides me just telling you what it is. Your computer choice can be anything you like. For me, the decision was based on how much I travel. Your decision might be based on something totally different. What you need to make sure you're doing is taking into account what your needs are and base your purchases and decisions on those needs, not mine. I'm just giving you some info to consider. With the new laptop came new portable SSDs from G Technology. I've been a fan and been using their drives for a long time. I like them because they work and are reliable. That's something I can count on. I bought 2 of these 2 terabyte drives, which are marked down right now. So if you're in the market, jump on that. They have blazing fast speeds and have Thunderbolt 3 that you want to take advantage of. I chose these for the same reason I chose the laptop: portability. If most of your work is done at home, you may consider other options, but on the go, an SSD with Thunderbolt 3 was a no-brainer. Here's 2 examples on how I incorporate this drive into my workflow. Some of my flights are 6 hours long. I try to work at least half the time. With power outlets being pretty common now on flights, I can plug in my laptop, and with one Thunderbolt 3 cable, I'm ready to go. I don't get crazy with my edit, but setting up my project and scrubbing through what I shot makes it possible to jump right into the edit when I get home. The other part to this is because I shoot a lot of individual projects, some in HD and some in 4K, so a 2 terabyte drive is enough. I put 1 to 2 projects on the drive, edit. When they're finished, I pull the project off the drive and into a backup to free up the drive for another project. This way I can edit everything I do off the SSD. Maybe a bit different than what you're used to, but it works. I've been using these drives for a few months with literally 0 issues. Just like the laptop, this isn't about the brand. There's other options that are cheaper if that works for you. If you want speed and portability, look into any SSD. Now, a drive for editing is one thing, but that's not the end of the story. What if something happens to that drive? Backups are always going to be a part of any workflow. This is what I do. I went with Thunderbolt 3 drives because I think it's important to make the connection upgrades as well, even though you can still buy Thunderbolt 2 drives with adapters. It might save you some money up front, but in the long run, I don't think it's worth it. You don't need blazing speeds for the backup drives. Just back it up any way you can. For reoccurring jobs, I usually keep a drive at the location. I then carry my SSD either literally on me or in my backpack. Then I usually have a backup drive in one of the bags that's under the plane. Another option you have is to actually mail the drive back home. Because of the small size, that will be way cheaper than having to reshoot everything. What you're technically doing is having multiple drives in multiple locations to limit any risk. As long as my footage is on 3 different drives and at least 1 drive is with me, I'm good to go. Now you might be thinking how I go about backing all my footage up. At times it can get confusing if you're not staying organized. What I use is a program called Hedge. If you jump over to their website, you'll see exactly how their program works. But to give you a brief example, I'll show you what I did for this video. You have your SD card with all your footage and drag that under source, then the 2 backup drives under destination. All you have to do is tell Hedge where you want the footage to go in that drive and then hit transfer. It's super fast and gives you transfer logs to view. One small feature is the ability to get notified on your phone when the transfers are complete. This way I can walk away and multitask while I'm transferring footage. Backing up is just as simple. I select my source drive and my backups, then Hedge gets to work. It knows what's already been copied and transfers the additional media to the backup drives. Simple and easy with peace of mind is worth every penny. The last item I want to talk about for my 2020 workflow is Clean My Mac. Just like Hedge, their website is pretty straightforward and explains what they can provide. I've actually been using them for a couple years, but since we're talking about things that are simple and easy to use, then Clean My Mac needs to be on that list. This is something I basically did manually for a long time, although never quite felt I was doing a 100% complete job, or sometimes I got worried I was deleting the wrong thing. Clean My Mac took care of all that. It's an automated process and as simple as hitting scan. It'll clean up, protect, and increase the speed of your Mac. Next, just hit run and let it do its magic. You can customize this process to grant Clean My Mac more permission to dive deeper into your Mac, but that's up to you. Otherwise, once it's complete, you can see the results. 3.9 gigs of unneeded junk removed? Not bad. I try to run this twice a month or anytime I leave for a trip. The service isn't free, but at some point you have to weigh time versus money. Just like everything else, to hit a button and have a bunch of work taken care of is how I like to operate. All of what I've talked about is what I'm currently doing for my 2020 workflow. So far it's been going great and working out for me. Things might change depending on what happens the rest of the year. This is something that every filmmaker should be doing. I know there's a lot of opinions out there on YouTube, and it's not so much a debate of right or wrong. It's about what works for you. Like I mentioned, I travel a lot, so being portable is something that you may not be concerned about. Pick and choose what works for you and create the best possible workflow / setup that can make your 2020 staying at home productive. Well, there you have it, my new workflow for 2020. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hit that like button because there's definitely more in the way. Subscribe so you don't miss out. But until then, comment below and let me know what your workflow looks like for 2020. And as for this episode, it's a wrap.